So, the Chicago Bulls are an NBA team, and that's just about the only relevant thing I can say about them at the moment. Like, seriously, this team has been kind of treading water for a few years now. They've never been the worst team in the league, but they also haven't really been contending for the playoffs. It's a bad spot to be in. And even though, on paper, it looks like they have a whole lot of young talent and a very bright future, we've been saying that for 3 or 4 years now. Ever since Jimmy Butler left, that's what we've been saying about the Bulls every single season. After several years of waiting, I think it's finally time to ask. Should the Bulls just trade Zach Lavine and build around their other pieces, or should they keep waiting and praying that he is good enough to get them to the playoffs? So let's get right into it, NBA fans. Looking at this team overall first. They are currently 16th in the NBA in offensive rating and 26th in defensive rating. And even though neither of those are great numbers, I think their defense is a little bit worse than it would normally be, simply because Wendell Carter has missed some games, and it's not going to get better over time because he's supposed to miss like another 4 weeks or something. Wendell Carter is easily this team's best defensive player. He's honestly might be their second best player one of these days. I really like Wendell Carter, alright? This is a great young defensive center. No idea what his offensive ceiling is, but his defensive ceiling is pretty much Rudy Gobert. Like, the dude's great. Great defensive player. They are second in the league in pace, and they are 5th in points, but like I said, they're only 16th in offensive rating. So why is this? Well, we're going to sit here and we're going to look at more of their stats, alright? And looking at their stats, I still don't really get it looking on the surface, because they're 7th in field goal percentage and 3rd in 3-point percentage, and they're even top 10 in free throw percentage. These are all great numbers. They also happen to be top 10 in assists. But here it is. I've found the first symptom of their shitty offense. They are the worst team in the league when it comes to turnovers. Worse than the Sixers somehow, which I didn't even think was possible. Any of you been watching Sixers games? My God, we turn the ball over a lot. But the Bulls do it even more. 30th in the NBA in turnovers, with 18 of them every single game. And a big part of that problem is Zach Lavine. Alright, Zach Lavine averages 4.4 turnovers a game and only 5 assists. And look, I'm not trying to sit here and crap on Zach Lavine, alright? The man is playing incredible. There is a strong argument for Zach Lavine to be an all-star this year. 27, 5, and 5 on 51% shooting, 42% from 3, 88 from the free throw line. The man is absolutely balling right now. Best season of his career. Fully would deserve to be an all-star most seasons, except that the East has recently become stacked as hell, especially at the guard position, alright? Zach Lavine's killing it. But 4.4 turnovers to 5 assists is atrocious. Like, just straight up. I don't have much more to say about that. That's an atrocious number. He is also first on the Bulls in usage rate with a 29% usage rate, which you might notice as a very high number for a usage rate. Alright, that is among some of the best players in the entire NBA. The only other player on the Bulls with a usage rate over 20% is Kobe White, who is just 21%. Zach Lavine's usage rate should not be this high. Zach Lavine's a great player, like I said, great player, fringe all-star candidate. Not a guy who should be having the usage rate of a superstar, however. That is the usage of a LeBron James, or a James Harden, or Luka Doncic, or Joel Embiid, okay? That is not the usage rate Zach Lavine should have, when the man has not even made an all-star team. And that's part of the problem with this team. It's not all Zach Lavine, alright? I'm going to say, there's some bad things about Zach Lavine. He also has 3 fouls a game, which isn't terrible, but, isn't great. He's not a good defender, just straight up. He's improved on defense, but he's still clearly below average, I would say. Even if it's not, the atrocious level that he used to be, he's still a below average defender. It's very frustrating, but the turnovers are killer. This guy is not a good passer, and he really shouldn't be averaging 5 assists a game. He just does because he has the ball 24/7. Who the heck else is going to do it? Kobe White is the only guy with more assists than him, with 6 a game, but his turnover percentage is 2.6 to 5.7. It's a much better number. Kobe White He's not exactly balling this season like some Bulls fans expected. Only 15.5 points and 6 assists, and his field goal percentage is not good at 41% and 36% from 3, but I expect him to eventually get it together. He's still a young guard, and it's tough for a young guard in this league. I expect him to very much be like a, I feel like De'Aaron Fox isn't really a perfect comparison by any means, but De'Aaron Fox is kind of the guy who's coming to mind for me. Like, he reminds me a little bit of Kobe White. I'm not really sure who else to compare him to. Maybe like a Kemba Walker with worse shooting? I don't know. He doesn't have like a perfect comparison in the league right now, in my opinion, but he's going to be a very good guard in a few years. Lauri Markkanen is having a revenge season this year after a bunch of people, including myself, completely gave up on this dude. He is now putting up 20 points on fantastic efficiency. 51% from the field, 40% from 3 on 7 attempts a game. Absolutely phenomenal numbers from Lauri Markkanen right now. Not a great defender, nevertheless, but, that's an issue with most of the guys in these teams. Zach Lavine, Kobe White, Markkanen, they just aren't good defenders, and that's probably going to be a problem for them in the future, more so, but right now we're talking about the good things, alright? We'll get to that in a minute. Wendell Carter, like I said, I'm a big fan of him. He only averages 13 points a game, but he's got 8 rebounds and 2 blocks to go along with that. He's very efficient at 53% from the field. The dude he doesn't have a great offensive game, but considering how great he is on defense, that's really not an issue. You can still have a center these days who doesn't really shoot and is just a defensive anchor as long as you have the talent around him, and this team does. Lavine, White, Markkanen, these are guys you can put around Wendell Carter and make it so it doesn't really matter that he's not very good on offense, alright? Garrett Temple is currently the last starter for this team, which I didn't even realize. 10 points a game for him, decent efficiency. He's old. Who cares about him? That's not what we're here to talk about. Not trying to just come at Garrett Temple here, but I'm just saying, nobody cares. Same thing with Otto Porter. He's an older guy. Everyone in the league knows Otto Porter's overpaid. Everyone also, well, honestly, not everyone. Some people, however, kind of underestimate that he is a good player. He's an above-average defender most of the time. He gets 6 rebounds a game, 46% from the field, 41% from 3. He's a solid defensive role player, kind of like a slightly worse Robert Covington, in my opinion. The dude's decent. Absolutely does not deserve the massive contract he gets, but he's decent, you know what I'm saying? Who else do I care about on this team? Who else is young? Patrick Williams, of course. That is the other guy I need to talk about. Patrick Williams has kind of slowed down after his start to the season, actually. He started amazing, and then now he's going down to more of a reasonable pace for, a number 4 overall pick. But still, fantastic pick by the Bulls. It's looking... He's not really a Rookie of the Year contender, you know what I'm saying? Only 9 points a game, 4 rebounds, and an assist, but on defense, he has been pretty solid with a steal and a block. He's going to be a very good defender one day, even if the Kawhi Leonard comparisons are taking it a little bit too far. 47% from the field, 44% from 3. Dude's looking good. Dude is looking good. He's an NBA-ready prospect, and he's really looking like a great pick for this team at number 4. So here's the question, alright? You got Patrick Williams, Lauri Markkanen, Kobe White, and Wendell Carter. That is a great young core, with the oldest player being Markkanen, who is 23, and everyone else being 21 or younger. Zach Lavine is 25. Now, 25 is not the prime for a player, okay? Especially in the modern NBA. I think players' primes are slowly moving slightly further down. Zach Lavine probably won't hit his prime for another 2 to 3 years. However, I don't know if it's worth keeping him with this core, because the issue with Zach Lavine is, like I was saying, he's a guy who, first of all, thinks he should be the best player on the team, and on this team right now it's fair, but it also kind of hinders the other guys. Do you really want Zach Lavine taking, twice as many shots as Kobe White? Do you really want him having 10% almost higher usage than Kobe White? I don't know if that's a good thing for him. He's not a good defender, and this team could desperately use some perimeter defense. Lauri Markkanen, he's clearly showing he's able to get more touches on this team. Zach Lavine is taking a few away from him. Same thing with White, like I was saying. Patrick Williams is another guy who maybe he could develop in a few years into a very good offensive player if you give him more touches. These are touches that are not going to come with Zach Lavine. He's a guy who really wants the ball in his hands 24/7, and I think it's very possible that if you traded Zach Lavine to a different team where there was an established star, he would be willing to take a backseat role, because I think that's what Zach Lavine needs to do to maximize himself. Zach Lavine cannot be the best player on your team. Okay, he can't. He's clearly not a superstar. He's not even a top 20 player, even if he is playing amazing right now. He has defensive issues, he's not a good passer, he just shouldn't be your best man. However, as a second option scoring-wise, or even as like your kind of like 1B scoring-wise, but like your clear second best player, I think Zach Lavine could be fantastic for a contending team, alright? Now, I don't have anybody in mind. The Sixers are somebody that we've looked at, but I don't think there's a way that they get Zach Lavine without trading Ben Simmons, and I've said many times I don't think that's a good idea. Maybe the Heat go after him for Tyler Hero. I don't know. I don't really know. But I'm saying I'm sure somebody out there might be willing to trade for him, and he could go somewhere else, and the Bulls could get somebody better back, because the Bulls could really use some frickin' defense. I don't know what this trade would look like, but if they could get someone with a much lower usage, preferably also someone younger, alright, with, someone younger, lower usage rate, better defense, maybe a better passer, although I think Kobe White is a good enough passer to be just fine as a point guard, just another like guard small forward dude who doesn't need the ball like Zach Lavine does. That's what I'm saying right now, and who fits with the timeline of this core. Because even though Zach Lavine's only 2 years older than Lauri Markkanen, he's 5 years older than the rest of the young core, and that is a little bit of a gap, I should say a little bit more of a gap than you want with your star players, you know what I'm saying? I just don't think he's great for the development of this team. And so because of that, I think it's time that the Bulls trade Zach Lavine. I've been kind of all over the place in this video, and I apologize. I definitely should have scripted it a little bit better. But the point is, I think they should trade Zach Lavine. Alright, I believe that it would be in the best interest of the Bulls to trade him. And obviously, this is not me saying that they need to force a trade. This is not a guy who needs to be traded right now by any means, okay? You don't trade Zach Lavine unless you get a very good deal for him. But they should absolutely make it known to the teams in the league that they are open to trading Zach Lavine, in my opinion. Because if you can get a good deal where you get some more picks, and you get a better defender, and another guy who's young, I don't see why you wouldn't take that. I really don't. I don't think he fits great with the rest of this team, and I don't think you're ever going to be more, even with the team improving. I think the Bulls' ultimate ceiling with Zach Lavine on the team is probably an 8th seed in a first-round sweep. That's kind of dark, you know? I'm sorry to say that, Bulls fans, but it's the truth. I don't think this team can be better than that with Zach Lavine at the helm, and so I think he needs to be traded. That is my opinion, guys, on the Chicago Bulls right now. I'm hoping they do end up trading Zach Lavine at some point, but I also kind of don't, because I'm assuming the team he gets traded to would be better, especially if it's the Heat. That is a nightmare situation for me as a Sixers fan. But, you know, who knows? Who knows what would happen? But as an NBA fan, I do want to see him on a different team. Zach Lavine deserves to win, and the Bulls as an organization deserve to build around everyone else and not be stuck with him turning the ball over 5 times a game with a 30% usage rate. So that's my opinion, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like it. Subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. And yeah, have a good rest of your day, fellas.